What's up, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the Troy Talk podcast. Today we have friend of the podcast and Troy Talk's very own resident professional golfer, Joey Herrera, joining us to recap his whirlwind of the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about the U.S. Open qualifying that took almost 40 holes, and that's how he got to Oakmont. We'll also talk about what it was like to play in his first PGA Tour event, and it just happened to be a major championship. We're lucky enough to have a guest, Michael Pfaff, join us, and also possibly, if he figures out his internet issues, Joey's dad, who was Joey's caddy at the U.S. Open qualifying and also was there basically the whole week when he was up in Pennsylvania. So yeah, we all traveled to Pittsburgh to watch Joey. Hopefully it's the first of many more for us as fans and him as a player. As always, you can follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Troy Talk Pod. You can also find the podcast on Spotify and most podcasting platforms, as well as the video version on YouTube. Thank you for your support, and I appreciate all of the likes, shares, follows, and subscribes. All right, let's get into it. Joey, how goes it?
What's happening? Everything's good. No complaints here.
All right, Mike, how are you?
Good. I think I've finally recovered after the dozen tall boys, some whiskey over a couple days and a red eye. I'm good now though.
Yeah, the amount of alcohol you consume, Mike, pound for pound, it was impressive.
Hey,
Good for
it's
you, Mike.
vacation. I don't know what else to say.
That's about all you can say. So yeah, I think we'll start just with U.S. Open qualifying. Mike and I were there as well. So I guess just to give listeners a little bit of perspective on what the longest day in golf is, Joey, you can do it, I guess, since you actually went through it. Maybe just give them a little background on what it is.
Yeah, so longest day in golf is sectionals for U.S. Open qualifying. It's 36 holes one day. It's usually like in June, so you got a lot of daylight. You tee off at 8 and you're done at 8. So that's why I guess they call it the longest day in golf, just because it usually is about 12 hours of golf. So
And in your case, it quite literally was the longest day probably you've ever played in golf, as it went 40 holes. I guess we'll kind of jump to that. It was a playoff. Have you ever been in a playoff before? That was one of my questions that I had.
I can remember one. I might have had one in like junior golf.
Uh-huh.
I don't really remember. But one vividly is I got into the Texas State Open,
Hmm.
just 18-hole qualifier, and then I was in a 7-for-1 in Texas, in which I actually made it through. So
Ah,
that's the only qualifier or like sudden death playoff that I remember getting into.
gotcha.
I've got through
Uh,
clean on my Corn Ferry ones, which is
which
shocking
is
somehow,
nice.
but yeah.
And I mean, so I guess we'll get into the playoffs specifically later, but like
Mhm.
it's 36 holes as we mentioned before. Do you find that you change the way you like go about it because it's 36 holes, meaning maybe not as aggressive early on, see what you got going, and then dial it up a little bit later, or you kind of just have a mindset early on and just stick with it the whole time?
It's all golf course dependent. Like at
Hmm.
Valencia, you have to be patient. Like you can't attack Valencia. You kind of got to let it come to you. There's, you know, 12 holes out there that are just hard.
Hmm.
And, the other six you kind of got to take advantage of. So I'd say, some of the sites, you got to go shoot 10, 11, 12 under for 36 holes. I kind of knew at Valencia, we had an idea of somewhere between 3 and 6. I thought
Hmm.
was at least going to have a chance at a playoff. So we kind of figured someone would get to 10, and somewhere between 3 and 6 was going to be the final spot. I actually thought there was 5 spots starting the day. There was only 4, so that should
Not what I signed up for.
yeah.
I mean, do you feel like that Valencia being a little bit harder, and we'll talk about how it prepared you for Oakmont, but like benefited you in the qualifying, like a little bit of a harder golf course?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a fan. We'll kind of get to that in Oakmont, but I'm a fan of, shooting 1, 2, 3 under par is a great round of golf. I think it
Hmm.
suits my game. Um, and Valencia, to your point, you just can't get ahead of yourself.
Hmm.
You can't chase things. The golf course, you gotta take what it gives you because it's not much. And as soon as you start trying to fire at pins or make birdies, you're gonna start making bogeys and doubles. So
Gotcha.
or find some divots. Don't forget about
Oh
that.
God, I hit every
Well,
divot on the golf course.
yeah. So I mean, let's start with it. Your first 18 holes. Let's maybe summarize it, kind of for the listeners. And I think you finished what at one or one, two
Yeah, I
over,
shot one.
one over, one over.
No, I shot one
Yeah.
under.
One
Oh,
under.
one under, one under. Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and kind of summarize your first 18 holes.
Yeah, I got off to a great start on one. I hit driver right down the middle, and then just absolutely flagged a 5-iron on this par 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it rolls up right against the collar of the rough and the like. If I have a normal lie, I'm thinking about chipping this ball in,
Mm-hmm.
and I grabbed you guys were there. I grabbed like 4 different clubs.
Clubs.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I grabbed a wedge, I grabbed like an 8-iron, I grabbed a 5 wood, and like was just trying to find something that maybe, and I just made like the world's worst par start my round after hitting
Yeah,
2
that-
perfect shots.
So
That hole was
it
not kind to you.
Yeah, so that collar
Yeah.
was weird too. So it was fringe, and then it was like a thicker rough collar, and then it kind of like all ran away from you with thinner stuff behind it too.
Yeah,
After
it was
that collar, so they did that on purpose, so you can't just put it up from anywhere.
yeah, you couldn't, and it's with my putting style. I use the long putter. Like I can't really like lean into one
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like with a normal putter you can kind of like just chop down on it, but I use the long putter, so like I don't really have that shot. And so just kind of made the worst par, and then on 2 I hit it in a divot, and like the divot is not even going, it's definitely a divot from like 3 weeks old, because it wasn't going
Oh.
like to the target. It was like 45 degrees of somebody that
To
just
a
come
different
way
pin?
over the top to
Yeah.
a different pin, and it
It was
was
different hole.
a high handicapper. The divot was going so far left, and so I was like fighting the divot, and I just chunk it and make bogey. And I just kind of got off to a slow start. I think I was 2 over through 9, and I think my dad came up to me on 10T. He's like, "Let's just get this back to even par and see what happens in the second round."
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of already knew in my head. Like the back nine's a lot more scoreable,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and played a solid 9 holes, shot 3 under, got to 1 under, and I knew standing on 1T for the second round that I had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, remind me what hole it was. Is 6, 7, 8, one of those. But tell us about your water shot. We had a little bit of an eventful shot on one of our chip shots.
Yeah, I hit a great shot, and it just spun one off the green and went down the hill and went into the water. And to be honest, I thought it was like totally in the water. Sometimes you can tell when the ball is like sitting up. You're like, I might be able to hit that. Then I get up there and I look at my dad and I'm like, man, I gotta take off my shoe right now. And so it was actually a pretty good lie, and I was just basically trying to hit it long because the up and down from the drop was brutal. I was probably gonna make 6. Like
Yeah.
it was just a really hard up and down. So I was just trying to hit it long so I could have like an uphill chip. And so took my shoe off, rolled up my pant, and gave it a whack, and it actually came out pretty good. And then I hit it to like 6 feet and made it. And thinking back, like that was a huge,
Mhm.
that's a huge boat. That's a huge bogey.
Yeah.
I mean, I make double there. I'm pretty much like, just
Yeah,
mentally you're out of it.
Out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a huge bogey I made.
Yeah, and I think I was talking with people when we were walking through the round and saying like sometimes par or even bogey can be as much of a momentum boost as a birdie putt on a different hole. So I think that goes to show what you said. Kept you in it the first round. You got to the house at 1 under. At that transition point after 18 holes, was mindset the exact same? Just clean things up a little bit, attack it the same way? Because it was the same pins, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So you kind of
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
what you were doing, and if you made little tweaks here and there, it seems like you might be able to get it a little bit more in the second round.
Yeah, I was playing well. Like at the front nine, I hit a lot of like really good shots that just didn't work out, and finally got something going on the back nine, and I knew just like and I knew I was starting on the back nine again, so that was kind of nice. I just shot 3 under, and to get back on the back nine and be like, okay, let's kind of keep this momentum going. And
Yeah, so let's talk about this back nine, Joey. little bit eventful. So I mean, one thing, like, do you think that having that last 9 holes and you kind of grinded through the morning helped you kind of manage it a little bit better? Because that nine is arguably the toughest nine in
The
Ventura
front
County.
nine,
The
mine.
front,
The
yeah.
front
Yeah, sorry,
nine,
you're
mine.
you're
Okay.
back nine on the second. Yeah, sorry, front nine.
Yeah,
It gets a little confusing.
So I got to 5. Did I
Yeah.
shoot 4 under on the actual back nine? But my front nine of the second round, did I shoot 4 or 3? I think I shot 3 under.
You shot 3.
You shot 3.
And then
Yeah,
you
so
shot
I was-
even on the front.
Yeah, so I was 4 under starting on 1T, my
Mhm.
28th
Back nine.
hole.
Right.
So I hit another great drive on 1, and then just maybe made the worst swing of the tournament. And you just can't miss it right to this pin.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like on my yardage books, it says to a back right pin, don't hit it right. Like you can hit it 200 yards left, and you have a shot at the green.
Oh, a pretty good shot.
Yeah, that kid made birdie the first
Yeah.
shot from over there.
Yeah. And then I just blocked it straight right. And then it was kind of one of those things where I felt like there was really no good options. So I was like,
Yep.
well, I guess I got to take a chance and try to hit like a spinny 40-yard bunker shot with which anyone that's knows that it's
Not fun.
The margin of error for that shot is you kind of got to take a chance, and if you don't pull it off, you don't pull it off. So made 6. And
What's your mental like after a 6, a par 5, to start your back or front 9, back 9, whatever you want to call it, to start it with a bogey on a par 5, knowing that you are, playing pretty good golf and might have a chance to qualify?
Yeah, on 2T I looked to see what I needed to get to after I made that bogey, because you kind of like, I just wanted to know, like, do I need to start chasing pins? Because you know how we talked about earlier, you can't chase pins. When you got 8 holes left and you got to shoot 4 under, like
You have to.
You have to. So
Yep.
on 1T you can't start chasing pins, but so I looked on 2T and I was like tied for 4th after making bogey. So I think that kind of settled me down a little bit. Like, hey, you didn't just throw it all away there. Like, you're still in this. Hit 2 decent shots into 2. Just kind of rattled off some pars, and then on 3 is when things started. I was like, oh, here we go.
Going crazy.
Yeah, so 3 is like a 240-yard par 3. It's just,
Beast.
to be honest, it's a bad hole. Like, it's a bad hole.
Oh, it gets you ready for number 8 at Oakmont. What are you talking about?
I think number 8 Oakmont might be a better hole, to be honest with you, Mike.
Way better hole.
Yeah, you can run it up.
It's like a super slopey green from 240, half the green. If you hit it, it rolls in the water. If you miss it left, you're dead. It's just not a very good hole.
Yeah.
You go at the center, you're in the bunker.
Yeah,
There's
like
no,
you're
there's no
basically
run up
trying to
area.
hit it. You're trying to hit in the front left bunker, which every player is just aimed at that bunker, and like, if it carries, great. If it doesn't, whatever. So I kind of pull one a little bit left, and makes up for all the divots that I got all day. And I just got over there, and I just had a beautiful lie, and I was like, oh, this, like, I was in my head, I was like, oh, I can get this up and down. Like,
It's
normally
the
you hit
YouTube
it
golf
left
lie.
there, you're making 4, and I got up there, I'm like, man, that just made up for every divot I hit it into today. This lie just saved the tournament for me. And I get up there, and I hit like a spinny flop shot that just goes right in the middle. With like 60 people watching. It was awesome.
That was the loudest roar of the day. I think that's when
Had
people
to be.
started to watch too, right? Like, I feel like that's when
Yeah, a bunch
the
of people were
Valencia.
just chilling on the 3 back there.
Yeah,
And-
so that's when the Valencia staff started
I mean,
following
Tim made my ears ring.
you. It was loud. And then 4, I think, pretty normal. 5, take us through 5.
5, I hit a good T-ball. I just hate this second shot.
It's so
It just
tough.
does not. It's blind. It doesn't suit my eye for some reason. It's a back right pin that if you like hit it the yardage but left to the pin, you're going over the green. But you can't hit it short because it spins off the green. It's just a brutal second shot. And so I hit actually a pretty decent one, and it just kind of one hopped over the green. And just kind of had like a little delicate chip shot that I basically just had to land on the green, and it started rolling, and it was like 10 feet out. I was like, that thing's just dead center.
Tracking.
I think I raised my wedge like with 5
A
feet
little
out.
early. Yeah.
It was totally way too early, but and it just like dripped over the front edge like a pud. It was pretty sick. So chipped in on 3 and 5 on the back 9.
And those birdies were making up shots on the field.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Like
especially
5 under.
3 is impossible.
Three's impossible. I mean, I probably should have looked at the stats. I wonder how many 2s were made there all day.
Maybe 5.
If
maybe.
That. Yeah. And then 5 was a great birdie.
When did you? It looks like your chipping technique is like more sound than it's ever been. Like it looks so good right now. Have you been working on that? When have you been working on that?
Yeah, to be honest, I think moving to Dallas is basically because we have just grainy, just
force you
ugly,
to get steep and
ugly Bermuda, and I was always kind of a pretty shallow, like just kind of use the bounce. But we grew up on Kikuyu, we grew up on whatever the ocean grass is, like Alevis and River Ridge, and like you can kind of it's soft, you can use the bounce. And just out here, like when that's kind of why I played so bad when I moved out here my first year, is I would miss a green and I'd make bogey just because like I didn't know how to chip. And so just over time I learned that, I mean, Joey Mayo is going to love this, but like I just learned that you have to stand taller, you have to get the heel off the ground, and you kind of have to get steep and try to like pinch the ball against the ground. And about 2 years ago, Valencia turned to Bermuda, so out there it's even more important. And so I think that's just what's helped a lot is playing in it, because all these guys that grew up in Texas are just like their short games. Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, like they all grew up in Dallas, and their short games are so good. And I think a lot of it has to do with there's no margin for error out here. So when you get to a golf course like Oakmont, like chipping just feels so easy. Because you're used to just on grainy Bermuda, so
that's a pretty good answer. And then I mean, after 5, that's kind of, I think you made the comment like that's when you started seeing the cameras. So you're like, oh, something's happening here.
Yeah, cameras started like on 6T.
Yeah,
I even backed off because a camera guy kind of was like running to the back of our tee, and like I saw him kind of shuffling over there. Like when I was in my pre-shot routine, so I like backed off, and I actually played 6 pretty solid.
That's the one with the apparently reachable bunker.
Yeah, I don't know. That bunker's 300 yards, and I was hitting 3-wood into it. I have no idea how.
Hey, on your first round at Oakmont, on what was it? Your first round on Statcast or whatever. It said you hit that 4-wood. 356 yards on number 2. So that one was a little off. I swear to God.
No, that was on that was 15.
No, there was one on 2.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. Had a live.
But anyways, we'll get to that. And so
you played 6 pretty well.
Played 6, played well, and then just made a god awful swing off 7. I mean, I'm pretty sure my backswing got about to my hip. And then I started my downswing and just hit like a smother hook 6-iron. It was horrible. And then again, kind of golf gods, but you need these breaks in these types of things. I got like a half decent lie in the junk, and was able to kind of flop one up, get on the green. I actually had a decent look at par. I left it short, right in the heart. Oh no. That putt I leave short? No, I think I actually hit that one too hard. And then I had like a 4-footer for bogey. I was like, oh god, this is big not putt. How it ends. And so made kind of a sloppy bogey, but kind of knew like, all right, like hey, I still thought I was probably good.
4 is what we were shooting for. I feel like.
That was kind of when I got to 5, I'm like, oh nice, I have one to work with.
Yeah.
And then 8, I hit a decent drive and then I hit a wedge that a sand wedge flew like 130
Mm-hmm.
and goes over the green, and I almost chipped that one in too. But and then tap in for par. And then on 9, my playing partner, he was a super nice guy, but he totally just did the cardinal sin of what not to do in competitive golf. He's like, 3 and you're in.
Oh no, he didn't say that.
Dick.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Is that the ASU guy?
No, the other guy.
No.
The
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guy that was having a
and
tough
to be
time.
honest, he was cool. I'm not sure how like much competitive golf he played, but he was a really cool guy, and I made a great swing off 9, especially after the swings I made on 7 and 8. Made a great swing on 9. Hit a really good 8-iron. Just came up like 10 yards short. I again, I played for the adrenaline. And now it goes my normal yardage.
It's getting a little colder, you know.
It was, yeah. And 9 always has the freeway effect. It plays into the wind. It's just, and then had about 50 footer, and I knew 2-putt probably gets me in a playoff, and
close,
and hit it for like 4 feet and made it. So,
easy.
Yeah, it was.
So before we get in the playoff, a couple things I wanted to kind of ask. So the kid you were playing with, not the kid who did the cardinal sin, but the other kid, from ASU, really good player, was I think matching you the whole round, basically the whole day, hitting shots. He had 2 gnarly lip outs on his front 18 back to back, which was tough. But does it help to have someone playing as good as he was to kind of push you hole for hole to keep you kind of honest and make sure that you need to keep pushing towards that 400 that you were shooting for?
Yeah, it does. It also keeps like the crowd in it. Like we had a decent group following us. We probably had 25 people at least on all 36 holes. So I think he went birdie. He birdied 18 and eagled 1.
Yeah, he was back in it because he was out for a little bit, and he's back in it.
He was out. I kind of figured he was out.
And then he was at 4.
And then he was at 4, and then he made a lot of good swings coming in, and
he had a tough double, right? I think that was
he on 6. I think he made double on 6, which is it's just a hard hole.
It's an understandable double.
Yeah, and so
then on 9, finishing hole.
Oh my God! On 9, he almost holed that to get in the play.
He almost holed it.
9's a par 5 that they turned into a par 4. It's like 5-10. I mean, I smoked driver and had like 189 in or something. And so he hit it like maybe 5 to 10 yards by me and almost flew an 8-iron in the hole. I mean, it landed like this.
Yeah.
To get into a playoff, and I didn't even know it. And I saw his reaction. I'm like,
why is he that upset?
I was like, was that get to 4? And then I looked after, and it was to get to 4.
Oof.
I was like, damn, that's
it had a chance. It had a chance there.
It had more than a chance.
Yeah, it was crazy good.
It looked good.
So just to set the story for the playoff. So we were Mike and I were frantically refreshing because there were a couple scenarios that had to play out. There was a guy behind you that could have missed a couple and made the playoff outcome a little bit different. And then there was a guy on the opposite side of the golf course who was also at 4, and he had 18 left. And this was, a little bit of foreshadowing the guy you played in the playoff. 18, it's not like the most birdieable par 5, but it's not like you can't birdie it either. You birdied it one of the times, if I recall correctly. So that's a little nervous seeing a guy coming in, he makes birdie, you're out. And not only did he not make birdie, he missed a 4-footer, Mike, or something like that, 4 birdie.
Or less, apparently.
Maybe even less, which was, resulted in a par, which resulted in the playoff. So sometimes you just need a couple of things to go right, and I think you'll probably, when you'll describe in the playoff, you had a little something go right for you. For sure. In the long run. So
the guy in front of me also birdied like 5 of his last 7 to get in too.
That was nuts.
So like,
and by the way, Joey, you did beat everyone else that got through at Valencia. By the way.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't see the guy who birdied 5 in a row. I didn't even see his score.
He was like I don't know. He
16 or something.
Yeah, he absolutely threw it on the second round.
Yeah.
Got obliterated the second day.
That was a tough second round. Yeah. So playoff basically was 18. There was, maybe one hole left. There was daylight was like very, very thin. You went over to practice a little bit, get a couple. Basically, I'm assuming you were mirroring the shots you thought you were going to have on 18, and you were like, "Hey, you have one more shot at this." Take us through the first playoff hole that you did that night.
18. I know Lucas. Lucas is the guy I was in a playoff with. I know him pretty well. And Lucas pumps the golf ball. I mean, he probably's got 190, 195 ball speed, which for those of you that don't know is crazy fast. Like some of the fastest.
Nice tool to have on 18.
Yeah, 18's like 610 uphill, par 5. So I can't get there, and I know that kind of starting it. So I kind of figured I probably was going to have to make 4 because he was going to have driver iron in. And so I hit one in the fairway. He kind of tugged one left, but again, left is not that bad. We both laid up, and I thought I hit a great wedge shot in there. The first wedge all day that rips back.
There was 6 though. Don't forget about 6.
There was 6.
Water. Yeah.
Well, that was it. That was
second
on a
wedge
hill.
Yeah, I know.
This is like a downhill. I spun it uphill, which doesn't make any sense. But anyways,
pretty much.
So I hit a decent wedge, and it spins back to like 25 feet. Lucas hits a little gem in there from like 50 yards.
Oh,
great shot.
Especially under pressure was incredible. And do I need to turn a light on? You see me?
Yeah, we see you. You're a little tan, but it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, he hits a gem in there.
2.5, 3 feet.
It was a little bit more. It was like 5'6".
Oh, really?
And the camera doesn't do it justice. And it's dark. It's like this room right now.
Yeah.
It's like flat out dark. And I hit a putt that I thought broke a foot left, and it went right.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then he had just a nasty 5-footer that probably broke 2 cups in the pitch black. So it wasn't like he missed like a 2-footer. Like it was a really tough putt. I think he hit a good putt and missed it low side, and then the fans started chanting one more hole.
I did not one more hole.
And to be honest, I think Lucas wanted to a little bit
because it was going to be 18. No.
Yeah, and we both had a flight that we needed to get to because we were both supposed to play in Louisiana on Wednesday.
Oh, I see.
Or in Oklahoma on Wednesday, and this was on Monday. And I was like, I ain't playing because only one person has to do it, and I was like, I'm not deciding the U.S. Open in the dark.
Yeah.
So, and then they tell us 7 a.m. This is when we're teeing off. I'm like, this is old. I should have kept playing.
This horseshit.
Like 7 a.m. Like we can't start at like 9. So, come back in the morning. Or is that where we're gonna go first? Troy,
What's up?
Where we? Do you want to go to the?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Keep going.
Then we come back in the morning. Kind of. I tried to stay as like normal 18-hole routine. I woke up. I worked out. I got to the course like an hour before. Did my normal warm up. I really didn't change anything. Like I didn't try and hit shots for 10 or hit shots for 18. Teed off on 10. I kind of hit a little right, but it was fine.
Yeah.
He smoked one right down the middle. We both kind of made sloppy bogeys from there. I think he got. I've heard he got a mud ball.
Yeah.
So he got a little unlucky, but I mean that's just golf.
Yeah.
And then get to 18 again. I hit a decent drive. I think he kind of hit the exact same shot he hit in the playoff. He hit it left.
Did he hit a tree?
He hit a bit more tree trouble.
He did. He hit a tree and still went 40 yards by me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
I was like, because I was literally standing right over where that ball landed, and I was like, oh, you hit a
uh
tree. I'm like, I'm not expecting this ball to even be close to me, and I think
no.
one of your friends was right next to me. He's like, I think it's coming towards us, and literally lands like 20 yards over my head, and I'm like,
Yeah,
how does that even make it?
I hit a great one right down the middle. He hits a tree and was like 35 yards in front of me. I was like, Jesus. And
Yeah.
then so I hit. Then I actually hit two. That layup's not that easy.
Hmm.
And I hit a
Rip a three
great
wood.
3 wood. Yeah. Um, and I think I played first. Did he? I played first. Did he?
You played first.
Okay. And then he, I think, laid out. He laid up in the left rough. Um, but I had 95 yards, which to that back pin, I knew I could just rip
Hmm.
60. And kind of funny story. One of the maintenance workers at Valencia, which I know a lot of the staff because of my dad, was standing like a foot left of the pin, and like he was probably 40 yards behind the green.
Hmm.
And I look at my dad. I'm like, Dad, right at Victor, and we just start giggling like, "Yep, right at Victor." And so Victor and I just started right at him, and it bled like a foot right,
Mm-hmm.
and got the bounce that I was looking for
Yeah.
that night, where it kind of skips forward and then spun. And I mean, I couldn't have left it in a better spot. I had like a 3 footer straight up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Um,
hits his bunker, or he hits his approach shot on a real tough approach shot, I think. And almost it hits a pretty good approach shot, but just a little long into that back bunker. And I'm like, I've never seen anybody in that bunker. I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
know that was like
mm-mm,
a playable position. And I was like, there's no shot he gets this anywhere close. Chips out and almost holes it. One of the
Mm-hmm.
best bunker shots I've ever seen, and would have been insanely tough for the program to see that go in and have Joey
Mm-hmm.
have a 4 foot putt to extend the playoff for a birdie.
yeah, when I saw where he was, I'm like, damn, I might have 2 putts to get in the
Yeah.
U.S. Open. Then I saw him, and
Yeah.
then I saw the ball rolling. I'm like, oh god, he's gonna make it.
Yeah,
So
so good
he hit
finish
it.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
How much did you have in? 4 feet? 5 feet?
yeah, probably
Yeah.
3.5, 4 feet.
Hmm.
Left center. Yeah,
Never
those
a
are the
doubt.
putts those are the putts you dream about. So that's why you practice right there. I in my head, I just, to be honest, I thought about Elkins when I was
Hmm.
over that putt. I was like, this is when you were 10 years old. This is what you dreamed about. So like, let's just go do it, and made it right in
Just
the center. It
just
was,
swept it in.
yeah,
Yeah, this is a beautiful putt. And then off to Oakmont. Everybody was making their travel plans shortly after. It was exciting time. I mean, the whole Valencia crew is there on in the playoffs, which is awesome. It was probably even double what you had the day before. And I think everybody was super excited and kind of just no, it hadn't really sunk in. I mean, we were just like, this is really happening. I just making calls about work and getting off work. I was like, I'm not missing this. So Mike had to, make his arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, James couldn't make it. Shout out to James. But yeah, it's just a super cool experience. And I mean, after that, you just kind of let Megan take it from there, right? With scheduling everything. Like, what was your next step?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, God bless her. I wouldn't even been able to make it to Oakmont if it wasn't for her. I mean, like the the flights, like
Uh-huh.
booking the flights isn't that hard, but then you're trying to schedule a hotel, a flight a week before a major championship's coming to the
Mm-hmm.
golf course. So like they sent, it's pretty funny. I mean, just they sent like a realtor. You could connect with a
Mm-hmm.
realtor to get like an Airbnb for the week. And I opened it, and the cheapest Airbnb was $22,000 for
Oh,
the week. And I was like, yeah, I ain't doing that.
close that off real
So,
quick.
so I closed that, and we kind of like looked at some Airbnbs, and we just decided to do
Player
the
hotel.
hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and getting people tickets, and
Mm-hmm.
reading all the like information, like I mean, from putting in how you get paid
Mm-hmm.
to safety, and like questions you don't even think about.
Mm-hmm.
But like one of the questions that we thought was so funny is like, do you want to be alerted of a security concern about your family? And it's like, I didn't. I didn't even,
You'll
but like
figure it out.
when you're Scotty Scheffler or like Rory, like those are things you have to think about now.
Uh-huh.
So there was a lot of new experiences, and I mean, Megan was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was a, a total. She rocked it, and
Mm-hmm.
I just basically sent, if someone had a question, I sent people to her.
Yeah.
I mean, all my friends were like, "Hey, like, do you know what tickets like?"
Yeah.
And no one wanted to ask for tickets,
Yeah.
but
We
everyone
were
was like,
prepared to pay for it. We
hey,
would be there regardless.
hey,
Oh,
can I get tickets?
I didn't
Uh,
even think that you had tickets to give away, to
Yeah,
be completely honest.
yeah, and then like there's ticket packages that you can get, and so different things like that, and I was like, I don't know, go talk to Megan, go talk to Megan. I used the excuse that like, oh, I gotta practice, and I was like, I just didn't want to do it.
It's
So
like people have agents.
yeah, so Megan was unbelievable, and she absolutely killed it and made it like a really easy week for me.
Well,
So that was cool.
let's talk about that week. So you get to, when did you guys leave, and kind of take us through the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday prior to starting the round on Thursday.
Um, on So Monday, or I got there Sunday. So if we flew in Sunday, me, Jojo, and my coach Nick, who ended up caddying for me. Um, we flew in Sunday. We went to registration. It was pouring rain, so we basically like ran into the clubhouse. It's kind of funny in the picture you can see that
Mm-hmm.
like in the what do you call it? You can see like raindrops on my shirt because that's where they took our picture, and
Yeah.
like I am soaking wet. And so do registration, and that was a really cool moment because
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, that was the only moment that I felt,
Like starstruck.
yeah, almost like a little overwhelmed
Yeah.
because like you get in
Oh
there,
shit, I made it.
yeah, and like it got the little
Pen.
so it's like a little USGA. It says Oakmont, and then it's got your name, and you pick it up from everyone's name is laid
Yeah.
out. So I mean, you see Jordan Spieth, Scotty Scheffler, Rory, John Rahm, like all their names on
Mm-hmm.
these little pins, and then there's my Joey Herrera, and I was like, "That's pretty cool." Now, hold on, I'm gonna go turn on the light real quick.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Airbnbs,
Yeah.
Tyrrell Hatton didn't even
I was
grab
making
one
myself dizzy with
after the.
color.
Vertigo.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Mike?
So Tyrrell Hatton in his nearly $100 million live contract didn't even
Yeah.
decide to go to
Oh,
an
yeah, right, he was at the
Airbnb for
hotel.
22 grand.
Yeah, so and so that was kind of cool, and then they all know your name, which was like, hey Joey, like when I walked in, I'm like, how do you guys know who I am? So I guess they do their homework. So anyways,
Yeah.
and they're so helpful. You can ask
Yeah.
the player relations people anything, and like I needed my bag shipped
Mm-hmm.
because my big tour bag, and I didn't want to pay the oversize.
Sure.
And so I just took it in there, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll ship it home for you," like
Oh,
without
nice.
any questions asked. It was like the easiest thing ever. So they were unbelievable. And when I got there, you have to sign all these documents. I didn't read any of them. I don't know. And
boy.
and and then they started asking you to sign. I signed probably like 25 flags and probably 20 posters.
Jeez.
And they got every player and like just looking at the people who checked in before me. And like Scotty checked in probably 5 minutes before me because his name was right in front of all of my stuff. And so that was pretty cool. And the trophy's sitting right there, like right on the table. So that was a special moment, and being able to do that was cool. And I'm glad we got to do it on Sunday because I didn't have to worry about anything. I wasn't there to prepare. I was simply
Just
there.
soak it in.
We did it, I think, on purpose that way.
Yeah.
And it was just there to, no pun intended, soak it in because I was soaking wet.
Yeah, I would say, just from my perspective, like how the USGA like was set up, it just looked like that was like a top notch what do you call it? Like the production, everything was just top notch.
I mean,
And
when we flew in on Sunday,
yeah,
you go down the elevator. There's a big USGA desk. You
yeah,
walk up. They're like, "Hey, what's your name?" "Oh, Joey Herrera." "Okay, here's your car keys." The car's out the front door. Like
just like
Mm-hmm.
that.
it was unbelievable. Like they I didn't sign nothing. They were just like, "Here's your keys," and then I was on my way. I was like, "This is the greatest thing ever. I need to do this more."
And then the next couple of days, you played practice rounds. I think I was talking to Mike. You said he played 45 total holes in the next 3 days. Is
Yeah,
that?
Mm-hmm.
on Monday, me and Nick kind of decided like, hey, let's enjoy Monday. Like
Yeah,
Monday, this is the U.S. Open. So I went in and I just played 18 holes.
yeah.
I didn't really. I warmed up for like 10 minutes.
Just
Went
go
to
out and
10,
play.
and I got to play 9 holes with Philip Barbary,
Oh yeah,
who
yeah.
I know him pretty well, and so we played the front nine together, and and then I make the turn. I'm standing on. We start on 10. Standing on one tee, and Brooks Koepka walks up. He's like, "Hey, I'm playing with you guys." I was like,
All right.
"Okay,
Yeah.
Here, I
We're
guess
in it.
I am at the U.S. Open." So got to play 9 holes with Brooks and Lanto Griffin, and who else was in that group? I forget who else was in that group. But
Well,
so that
some
was
sorry to interject here, but we did have a listener question ask about that. Like, how were
Mhm.
these pros? Were they kind of all business right away? You know, they're there to do a job. Were they super friendly? Was it a mixture of both? Like, how was that?
Yeah, total mixture.
Yeah,
Lanto Griffin was unbelievable. I mean,
nice
just
guy.
like
Nice.
was the nicest guy ever. Had nice things to say. Told me some things like, "Hey, I know you. It's easy to spend all day out here, but like you also got to rest a little. It's a long
Mm-hmm.
week. This is a
Mm-hmm.
brutal golf. It was a brutal golf course to walk, as you guys know.
Yep, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like had a lot of advice. Had super nice things to say too. Like he was like, "Hey, your game's like." After walking up nine, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, your game's plenty good enough to compete out here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you got to believe in yourself." And
Wow.
so he was awesome. Brooks was definitely much more business,
Yeah.
but come to find out, like a couple days later, of how much he was fighting his golf swing.
Mm,
Um, and I guess him and his coach got into an argument that night, Monday night. I don't know if you saw that story,
I didn't know.
uh, but he talked about it in his press conference. But it was cool to see how a two-time major champion, a two-time U.S. Open, what a
U.S. Open
four-time
champion.
major,
Yeah.
yeah, a two-time U.S. Open championship prepared. Um,
Mm,
so that was really cool, and how he worked around the greens. That was really all he focused on. Like he hit one drive and one second shot on every hole,
mm.
and really spent all of his time. And he did the same thing on every hole. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of cool to learn from. Being able to see that, and so yeah, Monday was really cool day. Got to enjoy it. Got to kind of most shocking thing is there was thousands of people out there on a Monday,
Mm-hmm.
which I couldn't believe. Um, that was probably the most surprising thing. I mean, Monday, it looked like Monday was. I was like, how are they going to fit more people out here? So
Well, we'll get to the
They
infrastructure later,
they
but
did,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. And then Tuesday also played 18,
no, just played nine.
and then
Uh,
Wednesday played 18.
Wednesday, no, played
No,
nine.
nine.
Oh, okay.
Nine.
So just
Yeah.
Yeah,
36 total.
yeah, I only played 36 holes.
Okay, yeah, because I was
Um,
curious. Like, I mean, you're not trying to exhaust yourself, kind of like Lanto was saying. Yeah, this biggest 2 rounds of your life. Last thing you want is to be tired going into it, which I'm sure you were a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, but I mean,
mhm,
adrenaline probably took care of that real fast.
mhm.
So yeah, I mean, let's I guess go to the first tee shot. Any nerves? We had another listener question. Any nerves on that first tee shot? And did it feel different than any other tournaments?
For Thursday, so I had a 9:30 tea time at night.
Yeah,
Basically, I tee off 2:45.
yeah.
240. Yeah, yeah,
So I had
pretty
all
much.
morning. So when I woke up, I was nervous, and that morning I was
Hmm.
nervous. Um, but as soon as I got in the gym on Thursday, I kind of was like, I don't know. So like eating breakfast or like lunch, I was pretty nervous. And then
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I got in the gym and kind of started my routine,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay, like this is what I do. Like I do
Right.
this every
Mm-hmm.
week. This is no different. Which is it was completely shocking. I was expecting to be like I thought the club was gonna weigh 100 pounds or not weigh
Right.
anything. Like I didn't really know how I was gonna feel, and I mean, I was super super surprised of how comfortable I felt that warming up and staying on the first tee. Me and Nick, my coach and caddy, were kind of joking like, "I'm just hoping to get this ball on the tee." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that going to be hard? Like, I've never thought about it, but now, and so, but I was actually really shocked at how comfortable I felt, and like I was nervous like on any, but I'm nervous on every first tee of every tournament. Like, it's not. I wouldn't say it was any more or any less. It was very comfortable.
Well, you certainly used the adrenaline to your advantage on that first tee shot because that might be the farthest you've ever hit the ball in your life. Uh,
Smoking.
I was
Real
kind of paying
easy.
attention. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Mike. I was paying attention the rest of the week, just as we were walking by one, like seeing where people were. Now, granted, not everybody was hitting driver on one. Which did you hit driver?
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So not everybody was hitting driver, but like there was nobody within even. I think maybe Rory I saw on one of the stats was decently close to where you were, but nobody was even close to where you were. So like
I know.
it was crazy.
I, I think Mike came up to me on what he on. I don't know. We had a weight on 6 or 7. He goes, "You hit it 387 off one."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
Well,
"What?" You,
387 and 170 ball speed, so you caught a speed slot.
Not a
I
speed
did.
slot.
I definitely got his piece. But one of the guys when I was walking up, I mean, one of the guys, like one of the crowd, there was
Uh-huh.
probably I don't know, there was a decent amount of people on
Uh-huh.
one. And I was walking up there, and he goes, "Is that your drive?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then they just started cheering. So
That's funny.
yeah, proceed to
Um,
make 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I guess we probably won't go through every shot because we don't have time for that. But like maybe take us through first couple holes and then some important shots on your first round as we were going.
Yeah, I got up to like we call I got Oakmonted the first 3 holes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I hit a great drive on one. I hit a really good wedge. That is, I mean, people probably won't believe it, but is 1 foot from being a
Oh,
5 footer.
Mike and I said the same thing.
Oh, it was so
It was a good
close.
shot.
It's 1 foot. If it lands 1 foot farther, I have a 5 footer for birdie, and now
Hmm.
I have a 50 footer that breaks 10 feet.
Well,
And so,
you landed kind of like at the bottom of this little ditch. If you were one
yeah,
foot
like
behind, it would have kicked forward. If you were one
yeah,
foot ahead, it would have, again, kicked forward as well. It just kind of
yeah,
died right in there.
yeah. So I kind of make just like in a normal tournament a horrible bogey on one.
Yeah.
Um, after hitting 2 really good shots, I hit a great wedge or a great drive, and a wedge right over the top of it that lands
Hmm.
1 yard too far
Yep.
from being perfect, and I make another bogey.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't missed a shot, and I'm 2 over through 2.
Hmm.
And then on 3, I kind of blocked a drive, uh, and then I hacked it out of the rough, and just short of 3 is just impossible. You're basically
Mm-hmm.
just
Tough hole.
yeah, you just have to hit a perfect chip, and I didn't pull it off and made double, and I was 4 over through 3 and literally made like a not that bad of a swing on 3, but we'll call one bad swing through
Hmm.
3 holes, and I'm 4 over par.
Well, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but and it's kind of latch on to that. Like the people always say, "Oh, Oakmont rough, Oakmont rough." How penalizing truly was it to go in the rough off the tee? Was it like, "Oh,
Mhm.
hey, I'm thinking of bogey's a decent number after I do that,"
Yeah,
or is it like,
it's a hazard.
yeah,
You just
Mm-hmm.
if you hit in the rough, it's a hazard because you're just hacking a wedge out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not sure if I saw anyone hit more than pitching wedge out of the rough.
oh, really? That's what most people were just trying to get a little bit of loft on the club and hit it as hard as they can to get it
Here's the
backward.
hardest game. And like if you had 120 and like the hole was shaped
Hmm.
well enough, you could kind of like get it running.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if anyone I saw like be able to get a 7 iron onto it. Even
Yeah.
Brooks, I mean, probably one of the strongest guys
Strongest.
on tour. he hit one ball out of the rough and like I think learned that I'm hacking. He didn't hit. He hit one ball out of the rough and then was like,
Mm-hmm.
I know what that's gonna do.
It almost seemed like for at least some of the holes, bunker was a hazard as well. But like it would have be better to be in the bunker
Oh,
versus
totally.
the rough. Yeah,
You had a chance in the bunker at
yeah,
least,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and
Because
if
you're
you hit in
chipping
the
out of the bunker, right? If there's a lip, you're chipping out of the bunker just like you'd be chipping out of the rough.
yeah, like if you somehow stayed far enough back in the bunker to get it over the lip, great. But Gil Hans is he who
Yeah,
redesigned it. He didn't make those bunkers very forgiving either.
no.
Like it's like a pretty shallow bunker with just a huge lip, so
Yep.
it's very unlikely that you even have a chance
Mm-hmm.
to hit it out of it. So if you missed fairway, you were making bogey unless you did something miraculous.
Like a great up and down. Like
Yeah,
basically making birdie from where you were. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
so
that
what are we on 5 now?
yeah, five, and everyone's like, oh, you must have been so nervous those first four holes. Like or three holes. Like I really wasn't. Like I was super comfortable. I just, I mean, in the U.S. Open, your margins are so small, and
Hmm.
I just didn't pull it off those first three holes, and really the first five holes. Yeah, I think I didn't make a bad swing those first five holes, and I was five over through five, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was and
Because you parred that par
Mm-hmm.
5, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I parred four, and then I bogeyed five, and then really played solid the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
agree.
Yeah.
played a good round, made a nice birdie. I just didn't make enough birdies, but
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah, it's hard to make birdies out there. Wasn't hitting my irons like
The
super
best.
crisp.
Yeah.
So like
Mm.
I just had a lot of like 30, 40 footers. Um and then made a nice birdie on 17 to kind of stay in it, and
Mm-hmm.
I hit two good putts on 18 and three putted.
Yeah.
That was a little frustrating because I
Hmm.
really I hit a great second putt from like 6 feet, and just I don't know how that ball doesn't break.
Does a break. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, after your
overall, I was pretty. To be honest, I was pretty happy with how I
yeah,
played.
I think
Didn't
you hit
score
the
well.
ball better your first round, like iron
Oh, for
wise,
sure.
honestly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I drove. I
You
overall
drove it
like,
well
Drove
too.
it better.
I
Yeah,
drove it
for
beautifully. Was really happy with how I drove it. I like had like five holes. My first five holes the second round where I didn't drive it great,
Mhm.
but after that, I drove it beautifully. I putted really nicely.
Lag
Mhm.
putting was great.
Yeah, lag putting was good. I missed a couple shorties, but it's Oakmont. Like
You're
you're
going
going
to.
out there.
Mhm.
You got to play three footers outside the hole all day long. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's not comfortable.
Hmm.
Chipped it nicely. Just I really didn't. It just didn't hit my irons great. And then I kind of got caught being a little like scared of one hopping them over the greens
Sure.
with wedges.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Like,
would
could
say
just
good point. The wedges were the one thing that I would like if I were to give a critique. Obviously, I'm a
yeah
bystander giving a critique for a U.S. Open golfer, but like your wedge game is usually pretty dang good. But that was probably the one thing that I was like, wow, if we could have hit a couple of those wedges closer, those are the birdies that we could
yeah,
have made.
and I drove it so well that like I had some wedges in,
Yep.
Mhm.
which some guys I guarantee you didn't have as many wedges as I did. Like I drove
Yep.
it long and I drove it straight for
Hmm.
both rounds.
Yeah.
And I think after two,
Yeah.
the first rate when I that was probably the most solid wedge I hit all week.
Yep. I
And
agree.
it just you
Flagged
totally
it.
flagged it. Like I really thought it was a good shot, and I all week I think I was just kind of scared's the wrong word because I wasn't scared, but like cautious where like at the
Tentative.
bottom you just yeah I just got and all week I just left every wedge 25 feet short, and so I think little bit of learning experience. Like you still kind of got to be aggressive, at least aggressive to points.
Hmm.
Maybe I need to do a better job of that, like picking targets that were 10 feet shorter,
Hmm.
but being it more aggressive to that 10-foot.
Mhm.
So like if you do kind of get it a little hot, like okay, that's when it lands.
And you're just a little bit
Um,
past the hole, and you're okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was kind of the only like weakness I would say was
Hmm.
I didn't hit my irons great. I didn't hit them bad. But my wedge game was just not where it needed to be uh, that
Well,
week.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You're not going to have your A game with every,
Yeah.
with every, club in the bag. So second round, I mean, it was kind of a different round, if we're being honest, like compared to the first round. But quite possibly the best scrambling round of your life, I think, pound for pound, given the course situation. I mean, we'll probably talk about some of the shots you hit, but I mean, kind of give us a summary, just like you did the first round of the second round.
Yeah, got off to kind of a slow start. Uh, Made nice up and down on 10 after just hitting a hideous 8 iron.
Was that your first bunker shot of the day that you did? Which is the one where you hit it from
No,
greenside bunker?
I think that was the
'Cause you,
first round where I hit it left on. Oh
oh,
no,
on,
the second round 11 because we started on 10.
yeah,
11 I
yeah,
hit it right. I hit it right down the middle into the hazard.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was that was a tactical error. Um,
But you parred it, right?
Made par.
Yeah.
Yep.
Made just a horrendous double on 12.
Well, so let's talk
Yeah.
about 12 while we're
Yeah.
on it, because I mean we have a thing at the end talking about favorite holes and least favorite holes, but I have mixed feelings of 12 because I think it's cool. It's a really long hole. It's technically reachable if the conditions are right.
Yeah,
But
I made eagle in the I had a tap in birdie in the practice round.
yeah, exactly. But there's something with the tee shot, this how sloping it was on a par five that kind of just didn't meet my eye correctly. I was wondering if you could just give me your thoughts on hole 12.
Yeah, there's 9, 12, 15
All the same.
are all the exact same, which like they're calling for a cut, but if you hit a cut, you're most likely ending up in the right rough.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like a cut hole that you kind of got to draw it against the slope, which nowadays guys just don't do.
No
Like,
one's gonna draw it.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
no
that.
no one really hits two-way shots anymore. Like everyone kind of just has their shot and they hit it on every hole. And so on 12, you're basically just like, I'm trying to keep this in the first cut.
Yeah.
Is exactly what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. I mean, I got no problem with it. The long guys could carry that left bunker. Rory had 220 into it, the whole 650, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I had
I
no
mean,
problem.
you hit in the bunker, right? Is that right?
Yeah, hitting the bunker was fine. Like it wasn't that great of a tee ball, but again, I'm just trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Nick made a mistake. Just got aimed too far left on the bunker shot
Mm-hmm.
because it's blind. I really didn't hit that bad of a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it came out clean.
Came out clean, and then I looked up and I'm like, that is way too far left.
Yeah.
So kind of total rookie error. You just can't make that mistake in the U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of we on back-to-back holes too. I got away with it on 11, made par, but that's a birdie hole.
Mm-hmm.
That I hit a perfect drive on, and now I'm scrambling for par.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then so I hit it in kind of the hay, and then hack that one out. But really, like I had 90 yards in on my fourth shot to the easiest pin on the golf course, and trying to fly a wedge 90, and I flew it 75. Like just a god awful shot. I hit it so bad that I was like, "What kind of yardage are we getting here, Nick?"
Yeah.
Literally, and he like walked me through it just to prove that it was that bad of a shot. like, I was like, "There's no way it was 90 yards," and we had 90, and I just somehow hit it 75 yards. So, oh, can you guys still hear me? Did we lose audio? I lost audio. Oh, hello, hello.
I can hear you.
Had a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll make it work. You guys can keep talking.
I'm here. Anyways, can Troy hear us or no?
He's working through some technical difficulties, but it's recording. We're good, Joe.
Okay. And then on so yeah, and then I got you. Oh, and he's gone. It's just us, Mike.
Just keep going, man.
Welcome to Mike Talk.
Oh
Uh,
gosh, no, we don't want to get into this. But yeah, keep going.
and then and then three putt and make just like a horrible seven on probably that day was the easiest hole on the golf course, right?
Yeah, that three putt wasn't ideal. Yeah, definitely lost a stroke there for sure. Just putting
Yeah,
wise.
so that was tough and
You rattled off a few good pars in a row
yeah,
after that.
then made some nice.
Was that an up and down
Then
on five?
13,
Sorry, yeah, 13.
13. No, that was the first round when I hit it left and made
Oh
that
yeah,
sick up and down. No,
yeah,
that was the first
that
round.
was a good one.
And then I played nicely coming in. I kind of hit a
Mm.
sloppy. I don't know if you were watching the final round, but when Terrell Hatton hit it right on 17, that like
Mm-hmm.
drivable,
Oh
I
yeah,
hit it in that
yeah,
exact same spot, and I chose to go backwards, just because
yeah.
like
Well, I don't know why he didn't just where he was chip it into that bunker. I know that bunker's tough, but you had way more. He had way more green to work with if he just put it into
yeah
that bunker.
yeah you can't. But
It was
the rough is so even when I was
yeah,
hitting it backwards, I was like
no idea how far it's
no
gonna
idea.
go.
Yeah, it's not like oh
Yeah,
I'll just
that's
chip it
also what I was
backwards.
thinking.
You're still hitting out of the rough, so like I didn't know if it was gonna go 40 yards or
Yep,
2 yards.
yep.
So I hit in that exact same spot and made bogey on 17,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so I think I shot three over. I think I parred 18, so I shot three
Mm-hmm.
over,
Yeah, yeah. It's a good par
and
on 18.
yeah, still in it, still totally in it to make the cut.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and just
You
really,
were 10 over at that point. Cut was, we were looking data golf
I was kind
showed
of thinking
plus
eight,
7.
yeah,
Yeah,
7 or 8.
could have totally gone to 8.
Yeah, I was still in it, and
Mm-hmm.
then made some good swings and coming in, and I never hit anything close enough. So that was kind of
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
deciding
yeah.
factor. I was pretty happy with how I played overall. I thought I thought my game could compete. I never felt like, man, these guys are too good for me.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt like, man, this golf course is too hard.
Did you ever feel like you're.
I have a hot take that you guys will maybe talk about later, but like I was overall I was really happy with how I played, with how I
Mm-hmm.
handled everything, um, with how comfortable I felt. I think was my biggest. I didn't feel overwhelmed at all, um, which I completely thought I was going
Was
to
that
be
the hot
honest with
take
you.
that you didn't feel
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed?
No, no. My hot take is if you say, "Hey, you have to go
Hmm.
make a cut," and I'll use all three of
Hmm.
my Corn Ferry events. And Oakmont, I'm going to Oakmont every
Oh,
time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I would agree with that. I don't
I
think that's
think
a
I
hot
like
take for
that
you.
out of the four PGA Tour sanctioned
Mm-hmm.
events, I felt like that
most
cut
attainable.
was the other than other than the fact that it is the U.S. Open. You know, is that felt like when I got done, I was like, damn, like I totally
Hmm.
could have shot seven over. Like
Yeah,
I
there
didn't even
was.
I had like my B minus game, and I was like, man, I should have shot seven over this week. But, I mean, in Veritex. I shot
Right.
9 under, barely made it.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma one, I thought that golf course was so hard, and the cut was 6 under.
Mm-hmm.
In New Jersey, the golf course is a very
Mm.
U.S. Open type of golf course, and the
Mm-hmm.
cut was like 3 under.
Really?
So
Wow.
like I really the and maybe it's just it's a good thing. I felt like I could. It wasn't like, man, I don't know how those guys shot
Yeah.
those scores.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like I saw 66 out there with JJ Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't like, oh my god, he shot. I mean, it's an
yeah.
incredible round of golf. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to what do you call it, but it wasn't like, wow, how did he shoot that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Well, yeah, and I think that's a really good point. We spoke about it earlier. A harder course kind of favors your game anyway, so going to have to
for
shoot
sure.
11 under, 10 under to make a cut is not exactly. Now, hopefully, you make Corn Ferry Tour and you're going to be dealing with that issue a lot. But that's a future issue.
Yeah, no, I think my game is designed for that type of golf, and that's why I think I like Valencia. That's why I think I like Satakoy. That's why I think I like courses that if you shoot 1, 2, 3 under par, you're going to jump up the leaderboard. You're not going to go.
And we had a listener question from Ray out here in Las Vegas. He asked, Caitlin Clark, I think, made a comment about is it even fun to play? Obviously you're professional golfers. Us playing Oakmont might be a different story, but is it fun? Did you find it a fun course to play? And kind of like, what do you think the hardest part of the course is?
It was pretty hard for me not to have fun out there. Like, I am achieving a lifelong dream that very few people can say they've done. So that was, like, I think for me, totally, I had fun on every shot, looking around. People clap for you when you make bogey. It's the greatest thing ever. It's awesome. And but to, like, a guy that's in his 20th U.S. Open, it's and like they're just trying to win. Like, it's pretty stressful. 6.5 hours. For sure. Like, you're never comfortable. There's not one hole where you're like, oh man, I can finally like take a breath. Like, you can make triple on every hole out there, very easily.
Just hit it into the rough,
I'm pretty sure I did. It felt like every hole you just like, oh well, this could be a 7. So, is it fun? I'm gonna go with yes. Do I see why people are like, no, it's not fun? Yeah. But like, you're also playing golf.
Could be worse, right? A lot of worse things.
Put it in perspective, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's stupid to say any golf course isn't fun. Like,
that's fair enough. You haven't played
awesome.
Camarillo Springs in a while, have you? No, I'm just kidding. Catching strays here. So another question from Matt, all the way out in the Netherlands. What was your favorite shot that you hit at the U.S. Open?
Probably my drive on 17.
First round.
The first round.
None of the bunker shots. I don't know if you guys talked about it because I missed a couple, like 5 minutes due to technical issues. But if you talked about the bunker shots.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We also didn't talk about the 60-footer.
Would that have been longer than JJ Spawn's on, what was it, 2?
No, we looked it up.
No,
we looked it up.
no.
We did.
It was close.
Because on the broadcast, they're like, that was the longest putt made all week. And I was like, how long was my putt?
Wait a second.
No, mine was only like 50.
Well, I mean, speaking of the bunker, I mean, your sand save percentage had to be up there, I feel like, or at least around the greens. And also your par 3 percentage had to have been really, really good, like, or at least your scoring average, right? Like, do you make pars on every hole, or on every par 3? Did I miss? Or do you have a bogey?
Yeah. No, his scoring average on par 3s was 3.
That had to be up there in the top.
That's even more impressive.
with a 3 scoring average on par 3s.
Yeah, there was.
That's actually impressive.
Well, hold on. I'm not thinking about the front 9. No,
6 and 8.
There was 6. Yeah.
No, I parred 6.
No, the second.
That is an insane stat.
Yeah, you were even.
Yeah.
I remember looking at
8
it
pars.
on. Yeah, I remember looking at it on 17, your front 9 on the second day. And your scoring average was 3.
And 8's not even a par 3.
Yeah, you made birdie 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
There was exactly. We were watching you on 8. I think it was the second round. I think you're playing partners hit it. They all hit 3, or they all hit a little bit further than you. So I think they took maybe a different club than you might have. I can't remember what you hit, but either way, did you hit driver on the second day? Yes.
Yeah. I tried to feather cut one. And
some random guy was like, yeah, he did. Some random guy was like, oh, hey, the little guy has driver, and I was like, oh, damn, Joey catches strays out here.
Yeah.
But you still made par.
Sam Burns hit driver, so that's kick rocks.
Yeah, and you ended up making par from the fescue, so that was one of the better holes, I think, of the week. What was the, I guess, hardest hole in your opinion?
9.
Is it because of the drive?
9 was 9's brutal. You hit it
Yeah.
right, you're laying up.
Yeah.
You pull it left, you're in the hazard. You hit it like me, you hit it left of the hazard, and you're in the
Yeah.
trampled mud. The second day I hit one down the middle and had 209 in. So just like an impossible green. I'm like, this is the hardest hole I've ever played.
Did I see Bobby Mack on Sunday hit it up the other hole on that hole?
Yeah, I don't know if
Oh,
that
okay.
was on
Well, I
purpose.
think he birdied it. So,
Yeah, he like smother
well,
hooked one
maybe
into
that's the
10
play.
fairway.
Okay, so that's the hardest hole. What was your favorite hole? Like, just maybe fit your eye, or just you thought was the coolest hole?
13 with the stands
Yeah.
was pretty cool. It kind of had like
All
an
on the right
arena-
side, it had like the NBC Sports and all that.
arena
Yeah.
all on the right. Yeah, 13 was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Mike, what was your favorite hole watching?
Yeah.
I have mine.
Oh,
If you need some time to think, I can go on my little tangent. I think
Yeah,
17
go
is such
for
a
it.
cool
Yeah, go
hole.
for
Like
yours.
I think
17, it's maybe the best drivable par 4 I've ever played. Because you can make 2 and you can make
and
9.
there's different ways of playing it. I know we were talking with your dad on the way up, and that most of you guys had already decided drivers to play. And the risk reward of it's insane, right? Like as we can see, first day you made birdie, second day if you would have hopped into the bunker, you probably make birdie again, or if you're short, you probably make birdie again. But you caught the downslope of the rough, which what are you going to do there? Like you literally had to chip sideways. And I think you saw Tyrrell Hatton on Sunday try to do what your other option was, and he chipped it into the hill. So I just was very impressed.
Yeah.
18 is also a really cool finishing hole. I just think like the way it looks from the tee box.
I was gonna say 18 from a viewing perspective. That's like the one hole that you can see all of, which is weird.
18 was cool, especially the second round, because the first round
Sure.
it was at 9:30, so no one was really there. But like there was a decent amount of people on 18, so like you're hitting into this like stands of people. So it was,
I was just a big fan of the back nine in general. I thought that
Yeah.
back nine is really cool.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of the golf course. Like I think it was fair. I think it was hard. I think it rewarded good shots. It penalized bad ones. I mean, you always hear like, oh, USGA, like they lose the golf course or they do this and they make it too hard. I mean, I don't. Sunday there were some errors.
Sure.
Maybe can talk about, but like, I thought at least Thursday, Friday when I played, like, and I think Saturday was fine too. The golf course was super, super fair, and
I agree. That was one of my
playable.
favorite U.S. Opens in recent memory, and that's not just because of the certain circumstances that we had. And just to finish it off, I guess, and we'll talk a little bit just about the U.S. Open on Sunday and finish it off because that was an awesome Sunday. After all is said and done, this is from Will from Michigan. He asked, well, you already talked about how you felt about your performance. You played really well. But what was it like seeing your name next to on the leaderboard, sometimes, beating a couple pros like Shane Lowry, Justin Rose, narrowly almost beating Justin Thomas? Does that kind of give you confidence going forward? And, how are you going to use that as motivation to kind of keep, achieving your goals?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the whole week there's no negatives for me. I think if anything, I proved to myself, like, and I have done it on a few occasions, but you really don't know until you're playing against the best in the world. Like, they're not doing anything different. Like, I hit balls right next to Scotty on Monday. I hit balls right next to Bryson on Wednesday, and they're like, I fit in. It wasn't like I was standing on the tee and I saw a guy hit a golf shot and I was
Can't
like,
do it.
holy moly.
Yeah.
Like I played with Brooks Koepka. He's won 4 major championships, and everything he did, I was like, well, I could do that. Like, so that was a big confidence boost for me, and something that was really cool. So I'm
Well,
happy to
Yeah,
see I can
I mean,
compete.
you showed you
at
belonged
least.
out there. I think with one how you carried
Yeah.
yourself with a whole week of super stressful and new experiences, but also the golf game too. I mean, that's half the battle is just
Mhm.
acting like you belong out there, because you could tell there's just some people that didn't have that capability. But yeah, I mean, an incredible week, incredible performance, and what we have KFT Q School coming up in the fall, and I think that's probably the next big one. A couple Monday Qs, and
Yeah.
we'll see if we carry the momentum.
Yeah, need to get some more points. There is a little rumor that I might get
Oh,
points from
to
this.
that count towards KFT?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure if
Oh,
you
okay.
had to make the cut, but I
Hmm.
know they encourage their players because like this year it didn't, but like previous years you would have to skip an event. And so guys were like, "Well, I'm not gonna go play the U.S. Open if I have to skip Corn Ferry
Especially
points."
those on the
Yeah.
bubble.
It might be for yeah, it might be for
No,
members only. I don't know.
All right.
I'm hoping I might squeeze a few points.
Anything will help. So just to round out the show, let's just talk about Sunday. I mean, that was absolute carnage, but super entertaining. Just to give people, in case they missed it, Sam Burns started with like a one-shot lead. What was he at, three, something like that? I think four,
He
and
was at
then
4.
Adam Scott was
Yeah,
one behind
4
him.
going into it.
And I thought if the conditions held the same, I thought one of them was going to win. I just didn't know which one it was going to be. But with the conditions the way they appeared, it became real evident real fast that that was anybody's tournament. Especially that back nine. I even texted Mike, and I was going to put him on blast if Bobby Mack won, but he was close to winning, Mike.
No, there's no
That's
shot.
the hand of accountability on your part. It took JJ Spawn going
No,
nuclear at the end.
no.
But just curious what your
Oh,
guys'
no.
thoughts were on the Sunday round. Anybody can go first.
I thought it was. Go ahead, Mike.
I really don't like playing in rain.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt for them. I don't like how wet the course got just in general with the rough's already thick and then you add water to that. I don't know. I feel like it would have been a much fairer test if it was dry. Just in terms of you're a little less dependent on luck of where the water is and more just hitting shots into the right place. And I thought Sam Burns did that the best throughout the week. I think he got unlucky there. He was probably going to be my pick if I were to, bet on something going into the final round. But just in general, wet, rainy golf is not my favorite at all. But great shots coming in by JJ Spawn, and that was the drive on 17 is just something that you'll kind of remember. It's kind of up there with, in terms of clutchness with.
It reminded me exactly like that shot.
Drive on 17,
At Harding Park,
17 as well at Harding Park. Just an immaculate drive, immaculate. You couldn't ask for any better, and he, it's one of those things where it was just another perfect number for him too. So, if it was someone that was a bomber, it's not a perfect number, and it's again luck of the draw, and the fact that it was a little wetter made that possible.
Yeah, long guys hated that hole.
I can imagine, because now you have to pull out and rip a
Rory's
3-wood
trying to hit
somehow.
like ripping 3-wood, and I was like, this is just perfect. Like I can just swing at a driver. It was.
What were your thoughts on Sunday, Joy?
Yeah, I mean, it sucked. Sam Burns lost because of a puddle. Like, it's, but, I'm not sure. The USGA does not play lift clean in place ever. Like, not like figuratively. Like they literally do not play lift clean in place. They don't believe in lift clean in place. So I'm not sure about like it's also kind of hard to say they did play lift clean in place like in another world or something. It's kind of hard to give those guys. So like John Rahm was at 4 over and done with his round. And just because he finished, you can't go give the guys that have 5 holes, 6 holes
Lift clean in place.
lift clean in place. So like you can't do that. It was a pretty simple. I feel like he should have just got relief from casual water.
Yeah,
like,
it was
if
casual
you get,
water.
if it was a mud
No
ball
matter what.
or something, whatever. Like that's just tough luck. But for him to not get their water was coming up, but they're like, when you settle, when your feet settle, no, there's no water. It's like
come on, yeah.
It was.
That's a ridiculous. Right.
What I kind of noticed is when I was watching, like these golfers knew, because they weren't requesting everything to be standing water and relief. Like they knew, you know, as a professional golfer, when this doesn't feel right and this is not like a condition where I should be hitting a golf shot. You could tell Sam Burns knew it right away. He was like, he looked, and he's like, this is not happening, and he went to 2.
And
well, he's in the fairway. Otherwise, like he wouldn't be asking.
Yeah, like what would benefit for him? It'd probably benefit him to go to the rough, to be honest with you. But yeah, like he went to 2 rules officials, and I just think they weren't gonna budge, and it was really tough. Really feel sorry for him.
It's such a weird shot too, because usually at a wet, soft, ball squirts right, and so you could tell he was trying to hit like a big old wipe cut, and it just went dead left.
What are you supposed to do there? Yeah, that was really tough.
Yeah. I mean, it was tough to watch. I can't even imagine what he was feeling.
Yeah, but as you were saying, Mike, I think JJ Spawn won it more than like it was given to him, which was good to see. I mean, that 17-18 was 2 of the best holes you could ask for coming down the stretch. That was like Rivals Tigers U.S. Open 2008 when he shot like 5 under in his last 4 holes. And I think he got a little bit lucky, obviously, getting a fat read from Victor Hovland on the last hole. But I think that probably made up for some of the unluckiness he had hitting the pin on 2 earlier on. And but yeah, that shot in 17, like you mentioned, that could have gone bad real fast, as you saw with Tyrrell Hatton. So he still had to hit the shot, and then obviously that putt on 18 is going to go down in the history book. So it's one of the coolest moments I've seen. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think can't complain. Got to go to a U.S. Open, got to watch it. Joey got to play in it. I think just because of that, Oakmont's going to go down in history as probably the coolest golf tournament ever. But hopefully we have many more where Joey's competing in U.S. Open. Maybe something a little bit closer. Pebble Joey, Torrey Pines. We wouldn't be opposed. We wouldn't be opposed to that. We could do a little road trip, but we're not going to complain. My bad. You should have taken that into consideration. What is it, Shinnecock next year? So even further.
Pebble.
All right, we'll mark it on the calendars.
There.
But yeah. Any closing thoughts, Mike, on the whole week? If you want to just summarize your experience as a fan.
As a fan, what do I remember? No, I'm joking. Getting around the course was tough. That was the one thing that was pretty annoying.
It was hard for me too, Mike.
You didn't cross that bridge, Joey. You don't know what we went through.
Hold on. Yeah, man. You didn't walk from the furthest portion of the course all the way to
Dude, the worst part, Mike, is at the end of the day, having knowing Joey has a car in from the top of the thing, and then us having to walk that back.
Yeah,
my God, I was dying after Thursday.
Yeah, 30 minutes. 30 minutes to the bus. 30 minutes to the.
I just called valet and my car showed up. It was great. I had no trouble getting.
Yeah.
We got a police escort into it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I would say logistics as a fan was not great. There's definitely worse courses for fans, but this one was definitely up there. The whole bridge situation where 60,000 plus fans going through a 4-person wide bridge, basically. Do better, USGA? No, but viewing wise, could have been better. That's why 18 was actually cool. You can see the whole, like the entire thing if you wanted to. You were maybe a little blind on the 18th green, but like otherwise, you get to see the drive perfectly, which is you don't usually. You're looking straight up a hill or down a blind crest on some of those downhills, but overall, absolutely sick to see Joey in the U.S. Open. It's my first major I've been to, so made it definitely worth it. It was huge to see those irons not disassemble.
That would have been a tough look on you, Mike.
The rough at any point. Yeah,
Mike built my irons.
I'm really
So.
glad 3M didn't send me a lemon with with the epoxy, so that's a bonus as well. Makes me feel a little bit better about all the clubs that I got, but it was a great week, even past the red eye, not sleeping
Mike went home on
much.
Breeze Airlines, which I wasn't even sure was an actual airline. I think he
Yeah,
was in the storage or
I got
the
home.
the
I got
luggage
home.
area for that flight.
Yeah, after all the drinks, I could have gone home on any airline and not noticed.
UPS first class shipping.
Yeah, UPS, something, but drinks are expensive, but I don't know. We'll
The hot
figure it
dogs
out when
though.
it hits
I don't
the
know if you had
territory.
any hot dogs, Joey.
Hot
Absolutely
dogs were
incredible hot
fire.
dogs. We were making fun of that
You know,
beforehand, but what were you gonna say?
What's cool is
Yeah.
you guys left
Mm-hmm.
because you had like the 9-hour
yeah.
shuttle ride back to your car.
Mm-hmm.
But me, Brett, Devin, Max, and Greg, my two friends, we just rolled up into that fan area, and we were just sitting on one of those benches, and my bag was right there.
Oh, sick.
And I had my lanyard, and we were drinking beers after Friday, after I missed the
Nice.
cut. And people were like looking at us like, what are these guys doing?
Ew.
Like they're
Who the hell
they're
is
playing
this? Are they
they're
trying to...
playing in the event, and we were just sitting there laughing, and it was and it reminded
This
me
guy
of that
stole a
story.
bag, is just sitting there
How
pounding
beers
beers.
were expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that was fun.
Hey, you weren't slamming back too tall.
Mike was
boys
keeping
at
up
a time.
with the lad from over the pond. I will say that.
Oh God, Greg.
That's a whole nother
no.
podcast. We'll
That
have
was
to get him
easy.
on in the future. That would be. I might have to bleep a couple things out. Electric
be
is one word.
electric.
I might get sued. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping on the pod. I know Joey's probably recovering a little bit. When's your next tournament, Joey?
Next.
So
Monday.
you gotta go a week. Okay, yeah. So we got another Monday.
got
Cue
a
back at
Monday.
it. That's the life of a golfer. But hopefully he's enjoying a little bit of the time off right now. And we're gonna go back to refreshing blue golf or birdie fire or whatever golf genius it is, and hopefully we get another qualification and get another event. I got a little bit of free time this summer, Joey. So if you make another event, I might make a quick trip out there. We'll see. Yeah. Well.
All right.
Hell no, not this summer.
Well, we have a wedding that we're gonna attend this Friday,
the
so
South.
hopefully Joey is in what. Yeah,
Are
I'll
you
be
going
there.
to that too, Trey?
Yeah, the whole squad will be
nice.
there, and hopefully Joey will be in one piece and get back for the Monday qualifying. All right, so
See
Mike,
about
not if
that.
Mike has anything to say about it. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you again next time.